The Shining. Captivating story about the terrors of the Overlook Hotel, which get unleashed when the Torrance family take care of the abandoned hotel for the winter season. The Shining started off as a novel written by horror maestro Stephen King, after apparently having a supposed real-life ghost encounter while staying at the Stanley Hotel. And it was then adapted into the highly praised Stanley Kubrick movie, starring Jack Nicholson. The Shining tells the frightening story of isolation and the horrific ordeal of a family member becoming a homicidal maniac. For years, people have tried to analyse this story and dig deep into its layers and try to discover exactly what The Shining is all about. Is it just a simple ghost story, or is there more to it? The 1980 movie alone has all kinds of fan conspiracies as to just what on earth the movie's secret meanings are, and has been linked to secretly being about Native American genocide, to Nazism, to even the moon landings being faked. Even the original book has its ties to being a story about suffering from writer's block, as many fan theorists over the years have tried to peel back the layers and to try and discover just what exactly The Shining was about. So, in celebration of the most non-straightforward ghost story ever, we are going to look into 10 amazing facts about The Shining. So what do you think, Tony? Do you think we should start the countdown?
Yes, I do, Minty. I think we should start it at once.
I'm sorry, that was just awful. That was just terrible. I apologise, guys. Number 10. Stephen King got the title from a John Lennon song.
This karma's gonna get you.
In Stephen King's original 1977 novel, The Shining, it tells the story about people who have the psychic ability known as shining, in which those who have the ability are able to read other people's minds, along with seeing the future and the past. It is explained that the only people who are able to do this are those who shine. But King has explained that he got the idea of calling this ability of shine, or shining, from the 1971 John Lennon song Instant Karma, which features the lyrics, "We all shine on."
Well, we all shine on, everyone.
Who would have thought that Stephen King was a John Lennon fan? How awesome! Number 9. Stephen King hated the movie. Yeah, this is actually a pretty well-known fact, but still an amazing fact surrounding The Shining. That Stephen King did in fact hate the movie with a passion, as he has often been very vocal about his displeasure of it, on the account of how much Stanley Kubrick changed the story for his live adaptation version. King's original story is much more of a conventional ghost story about a haunted hotel, but Kubrick makes many changes to the original source material and cuts bits out and adds bits in and creates more mystery and ambiguity over the events that take place at the Overlook and leaves many possible conclusions, such as maybe there wasn't even ghosts and that the Jack Torrance character had just gone crazy due to cabin fever.
Little pigs, let me come in. Not by the hair on your chinny chin chin.
King apparently wrote an early draft of the movie, but Kubrick totally neglected his script to work on his own ideas about The Shining. And despite the fact that the movie has become one of the most celebrated movies of all time, with a huge fan base, King is still sticking to his guns about how much he doesn't like the movie, and isn't budging with his opinion. So much so that King made his own televised version in 1997, which was much more faithful to his book. Number 8. Jack Torrance reads Playgirl. In the movie adaptation of The Shining, it's pretty clear from the start that things just don't seem right with the Jack Torrance character, and that there are many mysteries surrounding his character. But in an almost blink and you'll miss it moment in the movie, we see Jack in the hotel lobby reading an issue of Playgirl, which is just like Playboy, only it features naked men instead of naked women. Of which this tiny detail really opens up many possibilities as to the secret life of Jack Torrance and what is going on with him subconsciously. After all, why would a supposed heterosexual married man be flicking through a magazine of naked men?
More to the point, why does the hotel lobby even have this magazine in the first place?
Number 7. In the book, Room 237 is Room 217. Anyone who has seen the Shining movie knows about Room 237 and just how frightening and surreal that room is. Room 237 has left such an impact in the world of cinema, even the 2012 documentary about solving the hidden meanings behind The Shining was called Room 237. However, in the book, the terrifying room in question was 217. There are tons and tons of theories as to why, for its cinematic version, the room became 237. The most popular and interesting theory is that 237 is a measurement of distance between the Earth and the Moon, and that Kubrick was using this scene to show that the moon landings were faked, hence the fact that little Danny Torrance has an Apollo 11 jumper, and that the carpet kinda looks like the shape of a shuttle launch area. Oh yeah, more on that carpet later. But the most logical theory is that the hotel where the exteriors of The Shining was filmed, the Timberline Lodge, requested that the room number be changed, as they were worried that guests would never visit room 217 after watching The Shining, and thus 237 was used, because the hotel didn't even have a room 237.
But nah, that's just ridiculous. I mean, what a silly theory. I'm totally going with the whole they changed it to room 237 because the moon landings were faked. Tuh.
Number 6. Other actors were considered for the role of Jack Torrance. It's hard to imagine anyone else but Jack Nicholson in the role of Jack Torrance, as he definitely made it his own, thanks to his luring on-screen charisma, bizarre mannerisms, energy, and mania. Nicholson created a character whom was both scary and menacing, but also captivating, and at times could even be funny and obscurely likable. Which is a weird thing to say about a character who goes all axe happy and tries to murder his family. But when the movie was in production, other actors were considered for the role, including Robert De Niro and, oddly, Harrison Ford. Yeah, that's right, Harrison Ford. And even more strange than that, Robin Williams.
Wow, just imagine Robin Williams being let loose to run homicidal havoc in the Overlook Hotel. Actually, coming to think about it, I can oddly see that happening.
Number 5. The interior design for the Overlook Hotel is impossible. If you have ever watched The Shining and felt unease within the movie's environment and like things just aren't right, then that's okay. That is what the movie was designed to do, as Kubrick subtly made an insane hotel which literally makes no sense, with rooms and corridors which cannot possibly exist. And if you try to figure them out, you'll see that certain rooms and locations completely overlap with each other. Not to mention the fact that some of the rooms are way too bigger than what they could actually be. Many fans have also noticed that not only can the main office in the lobby not exist, there is no way it could have a window on the back wall. Basically, Kubrick wanted to make an unnerving environment, but wanted to stay away from the traditional haunted house cliches seen in movies at that time, but instead to make an atmosphere that's terrifying on a subconscious level. Hence the fact that throughout the movie, furniture seems to move on its own between scenes. Once again, adding nice touches of the terrors of the Overlook Hotel being more psychological than straight up in your face ghoulish. Number 4. The book had evil hedge monsters. There were many elements that were removed from the movie version, but the one that everyone seems to talk about, and the most mysterious, is the hedge carvings of animal creatures seen outside the hotel, of which seems to come alive and prey on their victims when their victims don't have their eyes on them. In other words, imagine the weeping angels from Doctor Who if they weren't statue beings but instead animal hedge trimmings. Kubrick found the idea gimmicky and silly, and instead changed it to a hedge maze for the movie, which definitely adds to the movie's feeling of disorientation. However, in King's 1997 version, he did indeed add the hedge animals of doom, and from watching it, I'm glad it wasn't in the 1980 movie, as it would have clashed with the more mysterious tone of the movie.
Still, how awesome would it have been if the Doctor visited the Torrance family and told them not to blink?
Don't blink. Don't even blink. Blink and you're dead.
Number 3. People have become fanatical about the carpet. Man, what is up with this carpet? Why is it that this weird carpet design has left such an impact on people, to the point where fans of the movie are fanatical about it? Seriously, the carpet itself seems to have its very own fan base, as fans of The Shining just can't get enough of this design. Why? Could it be because it's unique? Or because it's retro? Or because it's a symbol that everyone associates with the movie? This carpet design has made it everywhere, from items of clothing, to mobile phone covers, to shoes, doormats, beanies, and even underwear. There are no boundaries as to where this carpet may turn up next. It even made its way on the movie poster for Room 237 and was even featured in Toy Story.
One thing is for sure, fans of the movie love that carpet and just can't get enough of it. And why? Well, I have no idea. But the fact that the carpet gets so much love makes an already unique movie even more unique.
Number 2. The all work and no play had different translations. One of the most tension-ridden scenes in The Shining takes place when a nervous Wendy Torrance takes a look at Jack's typing that he had been engaged in over the months, only to discover that Jack has written, "All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy," over and over again, in what is without a doubt a very creepy scene.
How do you like it?
However, for the movie's release in non-English speaking countries, the sentence was changed. In Italy, it was translated to, "The morning has gold in its mouth," whatever that means. In Germany, it read, "Never put off until tomorrow what can be done today." In Spain, it was, "No matter how early you get up, you can't make the sun rise any sooner." And finally, in France, it was translated to, "What you have is worth much more than what you will have." And it was Kubrick himself who insisted on these changes and chose each country's own version of the sentence, as he felt the words communicated the message of the movie.
So could it be that we could learn more about the secrets of The Shining by taking a closer look at the typewriter scene in the non-English speaking versions?
Number 1. The remarkable truth about the axe scene.
Here's Johnny!
The axe scene from The Shining is one of the most terrifying and most fascinating scenes from any movie. But what's even more fascinating about this scene is the behind-the-scenes shenanigans which took place in order to create this masterful moment in movie horror. For example, it took 127 takes until Kubrick was satisfied with the shots. Yep, a whopping 127. A fact that even made its way into the Guinness World Records. The 127 takes left Nicholson exhausted, which led him to say he's never going to work with Kubrick again. In the original Stephen King novel, Jack didn't try to attack his family with an axe, but with a rogue mallet. but changing it to an axe definitely gives The Shining more of a slasher movie feel. Also, Jack Nicholson may disturbingly look too familiar swinging an axe around as if he has done it before. Well, that's because he has, as Nicholson used his skills from the past as being a volunteer fireman in order to break his way through the doors. And also, remember the famous "Here's Johnny" line?
Here's Johnny!
Well, that was completely improvised by Nicholson. The amount of trivia surrounding this scene is definitely without a doubt one of the most fascinating things about The Shining.
Well, that was my list of fascinating facts about The Shining. I particularly love The Shining movie and love trying to learn its secrets and to try and discover what exactly the movie was about and what it was trying to tell me. But that said, I kinda don't want to know all the secrets, as part of the joy of The Shining is trying to learn and discover what it all means. And once all the secrets are learned, there's nothing left to discover. Anyway, I'm Minty, and all work and no whiskey makes Minty Mr. Cranky Pants. See ya.
Here's Johnny!